Hello, my dear friends. Today I'm talking about the midpoint between Sun and Saturn. The Sun and Saturn themes combine your ideas on discipline and determination to lend purpose to your goals for completing your activities. These motives impart an air of authority to your generally respectable nature, send signals of rejection from or to prominent persons, influence your inflexibility, and then give you resolve and persistence to see your way through any obstacle or over any barrier. Your dedication, when aroused, is usually seriously and cautiously shown. You reduce or restrict any personal embellishments or lavishness, and this seriousness helps you gain respect for the accomplishment you do. There is a sense of purpose behind the way you discipline yourself for your work assignments. You realize early that others do not always appreciate your efforts, and you must work very hard to overcome their criticism. You dedicate yourself to patience and completing your work. In your personal life, the positive approach of this midpoint, it's about greater determination and the rigid appearance of control and discipline about your activities, an appearance of reserve and cautious that is built upon personal power. You seem to have a sense of property about you. This is good in a way, but depends to whom you are working and to whom you are living and what kind of people you have around you. In the kind of negative way, much pessimism about accomplishing the details of the work assigned to you, blocking or resisting others when you don't want to be moved or changed in your position or attitudes, diminishes confidence. You know that the art of living is flexibility. So this midpoint, it's hard to understand in a way or another what it means flexibility. In your relationships, in a positive way, it brings seriousness and reality about relationships, motivates partners to find more practical ways to share themselves, adds a respectability to joint effort. As the relationship matures, this helps to bring stability. More negative, it's about gloom and dejection may be so strong that you are afraid to make commitments in relationships. Powerful forces seem to bring bars or constraints to meetings or afflictions. Conceit increases with aging. So it's the risk to remain alone or to feel alone even you are surrounded by people. When it's about body or mind, this midpoint governs mineral deposits in the arteries near the heart, blood and lymph circulation conditions in general, your posture, infections in general, arthritis and gut. When it's about politics or business, this midpoint helps add form and definition to an enterprise, the will of the people as defined in the principal founding documents, checks and balances within enterprises as implemented by various administrations. In a negative way, it's about pessimism and gloom as a center focus of policy, unreasonable centralization of authority in one location, a leadership preoccupied with the various forms of law enforcement, older and more distant leader. So not good for leadership. Let's see this midpoint, how it's working together with other planets or points. With Moon, added instincts for showing caution or self-control, forms of self-discipline which come very naturally, sensitivity to an otherwise rigid framework, desires for romance in your life, attention to the discipline of daily activities. With Mercury, it's about adapting to circumstances despite continuing rigidity or resistance. Depth thinking added a persona which is already highly disciplined, actively pursuing a need to obtain the best form of education or work credentials. With Venus, it's about taking delight in the quiet of the moment. Silence and relaxation become synonymous ideas. Enhancement of desires for anything, charm and smiles added to an otherwise stern demeanor, lessons that call for luxury or vanity. With Mars, it's about an abrupt and abrasive mannerism with an already stern demeanor, fights through rigidity and structure, enhances and stimulates your ability to stay with and endure in any competitive activities, a desire to be in charge. With Jupiter, an increased need for an already abundant supply for self-discipline expands your capability to maintain silence, especially in religious or formal settings. Generosity added to an otherwise thick-fisted person, strong sense of morals. With Uranus, it's about an abrupt and unusual bend in a stern nature. Computers or astrologers play important roles in your life. The unexpected becomes the commonplace. You need people who bring excitement, unexpected barriers or turns of events. With Neptune, it's about elements of uncertainty in an otherwise orderly demeanor. Neglect of your personal discipline and training is more commonplace than you might think. A relaxation to schedule or plans that were already too tight or too rigid. With Pluto, a sense of overwhelming rigidity and inflexibility within self. A very disciplined person who wants and attracts power, increases the will to retaliate against others for slights, elimination of your pessimism or despair. With Nodes, association with people who are very controlled and disciplined, familiarity with methods of self-discipline and control from past endeavors, cooperation with others who need your seriousness and organization. With Ascendant, strengthens your focus on your need to be more serious, paying more attention or being more cautious with whatever you concentrate on, realistic and genuine reactions to others, mental pictures of your goals. With Midheaven, developing your mannerism to appear as a more mature or serious person. No accomplishment becomes unattainable for you, and you set realistic goals for yourself in life. Strong needs for increasing security and protection. Let's see some people that have this midpoint, very interesting. A strong midpoint between Sun and Saturn has A.G. Wells, Stephen Forrest, Sam Shepard, Paul Cézanne. A weak middle point has Bertrand Russell, George Patton, Nikola Tesla. When it's about events, we have Apollo 11 moon landing, and Pearl Harbor. Let's see people that have connection between this midpoint, between Sun and Saturn, and planets. With Moon, Audrey Hepburn. With Mercury, F. Scott Fitzgerald. With Venus, Edgar Degas. With Mars, Mick Jagger, Laurence Olivier. With Jupiter, Graham Bell, Jacques Cousteau. With Uranus, Bob Dylan, Vittorio De Sica. With Neptune, Stephen Crane, Sigmund Freud, with Pluto, Lord Byron, Shelley, with notes, F. Scott Fitzgerald, Benito Mussolini, with ascendant, Franklin Roosevelt, Yogananda, Paul Cézanne, Harry Belafonte, with midheaven, Francisco Franco, Burt Reynolds. So, I will let you in description of this vlog a link where you can calculate this midpoint. Then you should see if this midpoint is meeting with some other planet in your natal chart. I'm waiting your questions and comments down below. Until next time, I wish you all the best. Bye bye.